What's up, guys? Mickle here, and we just got some breaking news that is going to completely change the cryptocurrency industry going forward. We just found out that Consensus has sued the SEC in regards to the SEC saying that they believe Ethereum is a security. Guys, this is something that is going to completely rattle the cryptocurrency industry and could give XRP a massive head start on regulatory clarity in the United States. Guys, in this video, I want to talk about exactly what the SEC is saying, what the implications are, because there is a lot of stuff that's not being reported on that you guys absolutely need to understand here. This is fascinating. It's a game changer. It's going to completely change the industry going forward. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who likes the videos and to subscribe to the channel. Guys, these things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, I want to start out this video and say that if you've been following this channel, you would know that for a long time, I never thought the SEC was going to go after Ethereum. And the main reason I didn't think the SEC was ever going to go after Ethereum was because we know in the early days, Ethereum was heavily tied up with the SEC regarding some sketchy practices. I know I don't have to go over it with you guys, but obviously the ETH free pass speech, then suing Ripple with a lot of different people going back and forth between the Ethereum Foundation and the SEC, I didn't think the SEC would ever want to dig up those graves. It seemed like something the SEC was better off just slamming the door and ignoring. But despite thinking this, I actually put out a video a couple months ago saying that my opinion changed in a really big way. And what I said in that video was that my opinion changed on the SEC going after Ethereum because of something very peculiar we were watching in the market. What we were watching was the CFTC actually going in front of Congress and saying that they were worried the SEC was about to label Ethereum a security. Now, guys, in my opinion, this was something we couldn't ignore. The fact that the CFTC was coming out and essentially saying, hey, we're very, very worried the SEC was about to do this, let me know that they likely knew something that the SEC was saying behind the scenes that the market didn't know about yet. After that, we also started to hear rumblings that different people in the Ethereum ecosystem were receiving Wells notices, essentially saying they were about to get sued by the SEC, and then we saw Uniswap actually get sued. Guys, from there, it was so obvious to me that the SEC was setting up to go after Ethereum, and it let me know that the SEC had to have something up their sleeve. In that video I said I don't think the SEC is going to go after Ethereum for the ICO. Why not? Because it's obviously massively problematic for you to say Ethereum is not a security and then come back a couple years later and say, never mind, we changed our mind, now Ethereum is a security. So guys, the SEC had to figure out a strategy around this. And according to Eleanor Terra, it turns out that the SEC is actually saying that when Ethereum moved to proof of stake, this made it a security. Guys, this is absolutely fascinating because this is a huge pivot by the SEC. In the Ripple SEC case, the SEC tried to claim that XRP itself, the token, was the security, and they absolutely failed to do this. In fact, Judge Torres went out of her way to make it clear to the market that XRP itself is absolutely not a security. So the SEC had to go back to the drawing board, and now they're going after Ethereum for the method of securing the network, saying that the network itself is a security because of the staking feature. Now, guys, I don't have any opinions on whether or not I believe this is going to get ruled on by the court as a security or not. I think it's kind of 50-50. It all depends on the judge they end up getting. The judge is going to be critical here. But what I will say is it is much easier to apply the Howey test to staking than it is a token. We're relying on the efforts of others to produce a profit for your benefit via staking the ETH token. This obviously has the early signs of being a security and is going to create big issues for Consensus and Ethereum going forward. But not only that, but it actually has repercussions on every staking cryptocurrency. Because if the SEC can get staking to be a security, then pretty much every single crypto network that uses staking is essentially going to be roped into the securities laws. Now, guys, like I said, we have no idea how this is going to play out, but I think the argument around staking being a security is a lot more secure than trying to call XRP itself, the token, being a security, because XRP doesn't come back to Ripple. XRP is a decentralized asset. When you look at staking, you are relying on a specific third party to do the staking for you and to reward you, which is a much bigger problem in the eyes of a court. Now, guys, what I believe this is really going to open the door to is XRP being certainly the only asset in the United States with clarity. For a while, there was this quasi kind of regulatory certainty around Ethereum, but that just got stripped away. That is now gone, and now I think Ethereum is essentially going backwards. Ethereum could end up in the same exact place XRP has been over the past couple years, a case preventing institutions to be able to actually use the asset for its full intended use case. Now, guys, I don't want this to be how XRP wins. I always thought from the start XRP would win on the tech. XRP is faster, it's more efficient, I think it's more institutionally compliant based on how it's functioned, I believe it's programmed better, I think all the technology in the XRP ledger is straight up better than Ethereum. But what this is going to do is instantaneously force institutions to change their strategy and go over to the XRP ledger because they're not going to have any other choice. XRP is now the only cryptocurrency with certain clarity via the courts, and that is never going to come back. We already have that locked in, and it's actually unappealable. Jeremy Hogan made a video on this. You can't appeal XRP not being a security. But we are going to have uncertainty around Ethereum for the next couple years now because of this case. Guys, this dramatically changes the landscape for cryptocurrencies in the United States for the foreseeable future in a huge way. I really do believe this just opened up the door for XRP to be the leader in DeFi. At the same exact time this case came out, the XRP ledger is drastically building out its DeFi capabilities. We will now see institutions forced to make an adjustment. Are they going to stick with Ethereum, or are they going to move over to a chain with regulatory compliance and regulatory certainty? Guys, in my opinion, the answer is obvious. They are going to move over to the XRP ledger. They are going to move over to using Ripple's products rather than consensus. And guys, I believe this is actually going to take place at a fairly rapid clip. The other door that is obviously slammed shut with this is the Ethereum ETF. Obviously, the SEC is doing this in some respect to block the Ethereum ETF. So now the Ethereum ETF is off the table, as well as institutions being able to adopt the network in the United States. Guys, like I said, this is going to have far-reaching implications on all proof-of-stake cryptocurrencies, and I believe it just gave the XRP ledger a massive advantage. In the early days, a lot of people were really upset that the XRP ledger was going to be held back by the Ripple SEC case. A lot of people said all these other blockchains were going to get a massive advantage because they were going to be able to start building while the XRP ledger was stuck in this case. And for a while, it looks like that was true. But now we're actually seeing the exact opposite took place. All these other chains are now going through what the XRP ledger went through in the early days. They all are going through the same lawsuit against the SEC. The only difference is the XRP ledger is 3 to 4 years ahead. So we already have our clarity, but the rest of these different blockchains are starting at square one. Guys, this is going to create a very, very, very interesting dynamic where I believe XRP is getting clarity the moment big institutions are ready to start adopting, while the rest of the cryptocurrency industry is actually losing clarity. And this takes me back to something that has been speculated for a while. Was this entire case a show? Was this an entire thing to get XRP clarity for the rest of the industry before cracking down hard? Guys, I don't know if it can be ignored. It is absolutely shocking to see things playing out the way they are. If you told me that ETH was going to be labeled as security right before Gary Gensler was going to get kicked out of the SEC, I would have said you were absolutely crazy. But that is exactly what we're seeing. Guys, we are now in a situation where institutions are ready to adopt cryptocurrencies. We are seeing the adoption happening at lightning fast paces. And we are seeing people like Ripple constantly in meetings with the highest up people in our United States government. I saw this picture the other day and I thought it was absolutely insane. Here's Ripple sitting next to the head of domestic finance of the United States. Guys, Ripple is in the middle of the case and they're in this meeting. You know who's not in here? Joseph Lubin and Consensus. Guys, everything just changed in an insane way, and I don't think it can be ignored. The entire tide has shifted, and I believe this is going to be one of the biggest tidal wave floods into the XRP ledger we have ever seen, as we now have the clarity and the rest of the industry doesn't. Guys, it's going to be fascinating to see how this plays out. I really do hope that Ethereum ultimately ends up winning this case. Like I have said time after time, I don't think we have to win on regulatory affairs. I think we can win on the tech. I think the XRP ledger is the best chain out there. I think the XRP ledger wins over the long run because it is built for institutional production. But If things like this are going to push XRP Ledger into the spotlight, if things like this are going to help open the door to the adoption we have been waiting for, then I'm certainly not going to complain. Guys, we know Ripple has done everything they could since day one to be as compliant as possible. We know that Ripple never deserved to have this case against them, but they got it anyway. It seems like for once, everything is kind of going after the people who maybe deserved this from the beginning. Guys, call it karma, call it kind of things playing out like they should have from the start. But ultimately, I think this leaves XRP with a massive advantage going forward in the United States market. I believe XRP might become the only investable digital asset outside of Bitcoin. And this is ultimately going to change the entire crypto landscape going forward. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.